Mickey Mouse political parties led by opportunists who have failed themselves, who want to use the organization of Chris Hani, who want to use the Communist Party as a vehicle for them to access state resources at the expense of our people. Now, we're saying here today, Chris Hani belongs to the African National Congress, and the real SACP that is in the alliance with the ANC for over 100 years belongs to Chris Hani, not the opportunist careerists who fail when they contest the structures of the ANC, want to utilize the platform of the Communist Party for their own personal gains and interests. We know them who they are. They must do that outside the Communist Party. We are still going to fight to rescue the Communist Party from those criminals.
That was a very strong statement, very harsh statement from the ANC Youth League President, Collen Malatji. It seems like he was insulting the leadership of SACP, the South African Communist Party, calling them fake communists who are trying to use Chris Hani for their personal gains, stating that they have stolen the name of South African Communist Party because theirs is not the genuine SACP, stating that the ANC is still going to rescue the genuine SACP from the hands of criminals who are trying to use it to gain state resources. But I'm just going to play you the entire clip. Once you have watched the clip, you are welcome to leave your comment. Thank you.
When the municipality now took a front seat in this particular program, it offended really what the family had intended that this particular program look like, what it must contain, and who must lead it.
The strained relationship between the ANC and the SACP played itself out at the gravesite of struggle stalwart Chris Hani. An event which was meant to be a wreath-laying ceremony became a political complication when the family decided not to attend. Among the reasons given is that the family doesn't want to be associated with the Ekurhuleni Municipality.
When we arrived this morning, we were shocked to see that the municipality has imposed itself into the program despite there being no agreement about how we handle collaboration in relation to this particular wreath-laying and memorial. So in that sense, the family is unhappy and the Communist Party is unhappy about two things. One, that the municipality saw it fit, despite a sound and a solid agreement between us about the nature of the proceedings today. Number two, that the family is also unhappy because the family has some issues that are long-standing that it has with the municipality relating to managing the legacy of Chris Hani.
But according to ANC Treasurer General Dr. Gwendra Mahogba, the family couldn't attend because of a bereavement. The SACP says it has no knowledge of this bereavement.
The family is grieving. They have a death in the family and therefore cannot and could not have participated today. And it is humane to acknowledge that and also to await the family, because when we honor those of our leaders, we honor them with the families that have given them to us as a nation and as a society. And it is, I want to accept and acknowledge your presentation that we will go back to the drawing board and acknowledge, respect the grieving Hani family at this point in time. You may not have known, but this is the reality that we are facing. And we really feel going ahead without the family, especially as they are grieving a loss of another beloved one, would be disrespecting the family.
The young lions were having none of the explanations. They simply went to the gravesite and honored Hani. In the process, they had this message for the SACP General Secretary, Mapaila.
There is no Mickey Mouse political parties led by opportunists who have failed themselves, who want to use the organization of Chris Hani, who want to use the Communist Party as a vehicle for them to access state resources at the expense of our people. Now, we're saying here today, Chris Hani belongs to the African National Congress, and the real SACP that is in the alliance with the ANC for over 100 years belongs to Chris Hani, not the opportunist careerists who fail when they contest the structures of the ANC, want to utilize the platform of the Communist Party for their own personal gains and interest. We know them who they are. They must do that outside the Communist Party. We are still going to fight to rescue the Communist Party from those criminals in honor of Comrade Chris Hani. Now, as the African National Congress Youth League was saying that we are honoring you, Comrade Chris Hani, we are here with you. Amandla.
The ANC's National Working Committee will this evening deliberate on its relationship with the SACP and whether to cut ties or not. There is a push to make SACP leaders who serve in the ANC to choose between the two parties. Samkele Masego, SABC News, Ekurhuleni.
Nomvula Mukonyane is saying there's retribution here. The SACP leaders within the ANC have to choose whether it's black, green and gold or it's the SACP. The ANC being clear that SACP leaders within the ANC will not use ANC given resources of the government, of the largesse of government, to go and campaign for the SACP.
The memorial service for the late SACP General Secretary Chris Hani in Boksburg in Ekurhuleni was cancelled following a dispute between his family and the Ekurhuleni local metropolitan municipality. According to the SACP, the family has expressed dissatisfaction with the manner in which the municipality has been handling Hani's legacy and commemorations. SABC's senior politics reporter Samkele Masego joins us now live for an update on that, as well as this evening's ANC National Working Committee meeting, which is likely to touch on the future of the SACP. We'll get to the NWC in a moment, Samkele, but drama playing itself out at the wreath-laying for the late Chris Hani. Tell me what upset the family so much. What is this talk about the Ekurhuleni Metro imposing itself on the event?
Well, Chulas, not to use your words, but with breakneck speed, that particular event was quickly cancelled by the leadership of the South African Communist Party, which was also seemingly unhappy with the presence of the Ekurhuleni Metro Municipality at this wreath-laying event of the stalwart of the former Chief of Staff of Umkhonto weSizwe, the former General Secretary of the party, the South African Communist Party. But what is rather surprising and perplexing is that the Ekurhuleni Metro has a council resolution to always commemorate the lives and times of Chris Hani. Since time immemorial, since this resolution was taken, the municipality has always been at the forefront of organizing this particular event. And even this year, it was completely downplayed. They usually have a huge marquee where sitting heads of state will come and speak. Former President Zuma has been there on numerous occasions. President Ramaphosa has also been there. And also Deputy President Paul Mashatile, and also the ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula. So it's rather surprising that this time around, the family, in the words of Mbulelo Manhlana, the spokesperson of the party, the minute the family saw the emblems of Ekurhuleni Metro sitting on the front seat and being at the drivers of this particular event and imposing themselves on this event, the family decided to drive away and not enter the precinct where this wreath-laying event was taking place. But many ANC leaders say this was fueled by the General Secretary of the South African Communist Party, Mapaila, to fuel the family of Chris Hani, and that the party had no knowledge of a bereavement within the family of Chris Hani, which the Secretary General of the ANC and also the acting mayor of Ekurhuleni, IZWI LABANSUNDU, said that there is a bereavement and thus the family could not be part of this particular commemoration wreath-laying.
Yeah, so we saw then the explanations being proffered by the deputy chairperson of the SACP, Thulas Nxesi, trying to explain what was happening. But my best reading, and I've been trying to piece together what actually transpired, my best reading, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, is that the family was not happy with the caliber of the event, in that they had wanted, and this is the explanation from Mandlana, that they had wanted a simple wreath laying, but what they got was something completely different.
Well, Thulas, I was there, and if you look at the visuals that we have, you've been there on numerous occasions in your previous life as a senior political reporter. You would know there'd be a marquee there. There would be a stage for political speeches and a stage for the head of state to address. And it would be a platform where there is mobilization that takes place from the side of the municipality, Ekurhuleni, from the side of the political parties, the ANC, the SACP, and the Congress of African Trade Unions. This time around, there was no marquee. As you can see in those visuals showing IZWI LABANSUNDU, who's the acting mayor of Ekurhuleni, there's no marquee within that particular stretch of that road within the precinct, where you see Monde Gungubele standing with Collen Malatji and Ezra Lutswalo at this point in time on the visuals we're showing. In that area, there would be a marquee that would be constructed, but this time around, it is not there. And that just tells you of the various downplaying and the watering down of this commemoration to fit the demands of the family, which then brings about the political aspect. Is the family really unhappy on the presence of the Ekurhuleni Metro, on how they've handled certain issues? But remember that the home of Chris Hani is meant to now to be a heritage site. I'm not sure if that has been done and if the home has effectively been handed over to the municipality and be declared as a heritage site. I know about 2 years ago, there was a bone of contention.
Yeah.
Whether it's been resolved or not is another issue. But then you've got Ekurhuleni Metro in the news for all the wrong reasons, particularly within the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry.
Yeah, so it certainly suggests that there are more issues than meet the eye. Very quickly and lastly then, Samgele, the ANC's National Working Committee is meeting. That is our understanding. What's on the agenda, particularly in relation to the SACP?
That is going to be a very interesting meeting. How I'd love to be a fly in that room at this point in time, knowing the discussions that are taking place. If you were to read, Tulas, the opinion pieces that have been written on this particular aspect, particularly by Mdumiseni Ntuli, alongside other leaders of the African National Congress and other leaders of the ANC, whom are part of the Thabo Mbeki Foundation. You remember the rebuttal of that opinion piece by Mdumiseni Ntuli, and which was co-authored by Mdumiseni Ntuli and Geraldine Fraser Muleketi. Then the rebuttal by Jeremy Cronin, the former Deputy General Secretary of the party, the South African Communist Party. You've seen the pieces being written by Dr. David Masondo, by Buti Manamela as well, decrying the resolution of the SACP to contest elections alone, and that of Dr. Blade Mpepe Twanzimande. And the recent revelations by ANC leaders, we've had Nomvula Mukonyane saying, there's retribution here. The SACP leaders within the ANC have to choose whether it's black, green, and gold or it's the SACP. The ANC being clear that SACP leaders within the ANC will not use ANC-given resources of the government, of the largesse of government, to go and campaign for the SACP. So then we have got to choose whether you are with the SACP or with the ANC. For instance, Buti Manamela, the Minister of Higher Education and Training, is the head of elections in the SACP. Will he campaign for the SACP or will he campaign for the ANC that gave him the Ministry of Higher Education and Training? So that's the conundrum where the ANC and the SACP find themselves in. Just this past weekend on Monday, in Ngobo, where Gwede Mantashe comes from, in the burial of one of the relatives of Matota Sambata, the provincial secretary of the SACP in the Northwest, was an MEC within that province. He said that if the ANC decides to ban the communists, just like in the apartheid era, when the party was banned by the apartheid regime, the party members in the ANC will just go underground and reorganize quietly within the ANC. And they are saying they are going nowhere. But the ANC does not want to make the same mistake it made with Jacob Zuma and the MK party. And many people say what happened today at the Chris Hani Memorial was just a precursor and the first strike by the SACP General Secretary against the ANC for the final trigger that will be pulled by the ANC's National Working Committee this evening.
All right, Samgele, thank you for that, laying the background quite well there for us. That's senior SABC politics reporter Samgele Masego reporting on both events, the NWC meeting of the ANC as well as the...
It is such a shame that the African National Congress and the South African Communist Party, ANC and SACP, are finding themselves in a position whereby they are fighting over the grave of the struggle hero and a struggle icon, Martin Tembisile Chris Hani. This comes as tensions are rising toward the local government elections, whereby the SACP, for the first time in its history, will be contesting these elections independently away from the African National Congress. This has led to serious tensions. What do you guys make of this? I'm ashamed that it has come to this. I'm honestly ashamed that it has come to this. It's quite disappointing. I want to hear your views, guys. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Skosana. The name of the platform is IZWI LABANSUNDU, the voice for Africans. Kama Africa.